Have you been feeling like a nomad your whole life? And with that, I don't mean the literal sense in traveling over the world, but I mean it in a spiritual sense that the the speed in which you travel spiritually is has always been in such a rapid pace that every time you settled down with the friends and with family and maybe even a relationship and things you like doing, after a while, you look around and you see it doesn't resonate with you anymore, so you needed to move further. You needed to let go of people, of certain surroundings. So there was never in your life really this steady fundament. um, Certain souls on this planet have such an urgency to grow spiritually. They have a goal, a very specific goal, and you might not realize it when are in your younger years, but you always have felt that you didn't belong in the surroundings you were in. You always questioned life. You always asked yourself the most profound existential questions. And then at one point, your wake up call, your, so to say, your initiation starts to kick in. With me, it started about 15 years ago. I was already questioning a lot since child. I was questioning the things, why they were the way they are in the world, why people are the way they are. But things really started kicking off in a really rapid pace around 15 years ago, where I started waking up and I started losing everything in a very rapid pace. And ever since, I am going in this such accelerated pace of ascending, that my scenery is changing so rapidly every, I don't know, I cannot say every few years or every few months. But do you recognize this, that you never really had this solid, the solidity in the earthy realm? And this can go along with some, certainly in the beginning of your path, with some loneliness, profound solitude, um, always feeling you're alone even when you were standing in the midst of your family or friends or a crowd or whatever. It didn't feed you like it feeds most people. You always felt in search, and so you are a truth seeker, and you have been accelerating in a monstrous pace this lifetime. Energies are making this possible. We chose um, to come to Earth in this time frame because our profound urge and need to wake up, to become authentic, to become sovereign, and give something back to this world. And it doesn't matter in which form. It can just by living your life. It doesn't have to have all these grand gesture, important things. It's just being a human being, because that is, I'm saying just, but it's the most missing thing in our society, being human. Most people are human doings. I wouldn't call them even humans, because they are so mechanical. There is no awareness, there is no aliveness, there's no connection with Mother Earth, there's no connection with life itself. It's just a reactive living, like this ball in this flipper. How do you say that in English? Those flipper. things. You get just kicked. People who are just still asleep, they get kicked around by external input, and they don't know why things keep happening to them the way they do, and you know better. And you felt this very at a very young age already, that you needed to go search for your path, to go search for a truth that wasn't in your environment, there, where you didn't get any confirmation or any mirroring about what you felt. As a child, I already felt I felt this tremendous expansion of life force inside of me, but I also felt I was still caged, and I got annoyed by it. I used to, I think I was 10 or 11 years old, I used to um, push my energy, expand it, because I wanted to feel if I could break it, that back then I already felt I was caged in. And as I grew older, that cage became heavier and heavier on me. By the time I was 15 years old, I was getting severely depressed, having anxiety attacks. I couldn't live in that consciousness, in that way of being. And it wasn't until I got around 20 years old, I was very, very depressed, and I started searching, because I felt there is something more to this life than what I'm experiencing right now. And there my search started in meditation, in waking up, in doing shadow work. Um, but to get back to the theme that I wanted to talk about in this video is, um, a lot of you struggle with not having um, a constructive, how do you say that, a dependable environment. You might be having friends for a while, and because of your pace of accelerated ascension, you might feel after a year or 2 years or 3 years, what am I doing with this friendship, or what am I doing in this romantic relationship? Because there is no there is nothing that resonated anymore. Although in the beginning maybe you had some things that resonated, but after a few years you were already ascended so fast that you needed to let go of everything again. So it's just like this nomad that travels from place to place, and every time he travels lightly. And that's also what we need to do. We need to travel lightly. We need to tread the earth lightly. And in the beginning it can be a struggle, because everybody, at least I did in the beginning, I really craved for a sort of foundation around me, a sort of steadiness, um, a group of people that I could depend on a long term, or family I could depend on in the long run. But reality exposed that wasn't the case for me. And in the beginning it was a huge struggle for me, because I come from a broken family, a lot of dysfunctionality in my childhood. So I really craved for this connection. I really craved for this stability in life, and building up something. But back then, I didn't realize yet that my life never was going to be about building up, materializing things in the 3D world. uh, it took me, I think, until I was 30 years old, until I slowly started to realize that what I was building wasn't graspable, wasn't noticeable by the eyes or the ears, or by senses. it was graspable in the esoteric world. There was always have been as a child a fire to break free and to become an authentic, autonomous human being. And that acceptance process is something we all go through. You know, we all have these. You look out in the world and you see people ticking their boxes. You know, they graduate, they find a partner, they get married, they have children, they buy a house, you name it. And you weren't like that. You tried very hard in the beginning to tick those boxes, but you realized after a while that it doesn't matter how much effort you put in it or how hard you worked from your will. It could have been a very frustrating process until you learned and understood what your soul mission has always been about, and that's becoming free. That's becoming awakened soul. Um, so traveling light and fast changes of scenery are a very normal thing in people who are ascending in such a rapid pace. And again, there are not a lot of people who ascend in such a rapid pace. There are only a few of us that feel this fire to burn our way through it all, no matter what, because that is the holy grail for us. That is what our soul always wanted, craved for. Um, so spiritual maturity is something that we gain within the years. I started understanding myself better, especially the moment I lost it all. 10 years ago, I lost my job, I lost my relationship, I lost all my money, I lost my family. I was, and a year before this happened, I already got this message, and I said back then to my partner, I'm going to lose it all. And the reply was, it's just a dream, Bo. Just don't take your dreams so serious. And I felt it so as such a reality, but I just shoved it aside, and I was like, okay, you know, I have my practice. Back then I was an energetic coach. I coached people. I had my own house. I was in a relationship. I had some friends. um, Never went really well. Friendship, by the way, was always also wondering why this was always a deep theme in my life. Never really feeling the connection. But a year later, this happened. My energy started dropping big time, and I couldn't listen to people anymore. I couldn't do the job that I did anymore. I couldn't pay my mortgage anymore. I just completely lost it in the outside world, but also I was really feeling I was going to lose it mentally. It was my biggest dark night of the soul. Um, 5 years before, I was already starting waking up, but 10 years ago was my big letting go. It was a huge initiation, and a lot of you guys resonate with this who are walking this path, losing it all, and it can feel like um, you have this curse on you in the beginning, but it's actually the opposite, because your soul is not here um, to fill itself up with outside acknowledgement, whether it's ambition of a job, whether it's finance, or whether it's having a wife or a husband, whether it's having children. Having is not what you came here to be. Being is what you came here for, and being a way shower. Um, And eventually, I'm not there yet, but I feel it very strongly. I'm already feeling it, by the way. By a few years ago, I really felt the urge to create a channel on YouTube, to connect with souls that resonate with the path that I was walking. So I started connecting with souls who have a, a similar rapid pace of accelerating in their ascension process. But the more we will embody the light, the more we will anchor this light in. Um, at some point, I hope we will create this stability, and maybe we will create not like-minded but likewise, like vibing, that's the word, like vibing people around us. And we don't need to stay the nomad who is constantly needing to leave the environment after a few years. At least that's what I'm hoping for. I have my North Node in my fourth house, so I'm learning to lead a more steady life instead of constantly looking for adventure, constantly looking for expansion, expansion, expansion. But this typically is something that a lot of us wrestle with, the constant change of scenery. I would love to know how this playing out or has played out in your life, if you recognize yourself in this. Um, for me, it was, I felt for most of my life completely alienated. I tried to explain to people how fast things change inside of me, and they would say, stop trying so hard, stop waking up so hard. And I would get so mad. I'm not doing this is not my doing. I'm getting dragged through it whether I want to or not, and they couldn't understand. So now looking back, I'm grateful that my soul was um, I I feel we all have this soul purpose, and we have a way of living. And although my cognitive mind couldn't grasp what was going on, my soul couldn't care less. It kept dragging me. And I think now for 15 years I've gone through some, and I hear this also from you guys, that you have been going through this process of death and rebirth, and death and rebirth, and undoing and unbecoming, and emptying out yourself for so long now, that some of us, and including myself, sometimes ask, when is this going to end? When is this immense acceleration past? I cannot give you the answer. I can only share my experience, and that we can connect with each other, that we may find recognition in each other's path. I'm not about showing you perfection, because there is no such thing as perfection. I'm showing you my authentic selves. There are days where I talkative, and where I am more upbeat, but there are also times, and that are also the times when I make videos where I really feel so burned out, so much fried by all the energies, by the constant ongoing um, alchemizing inside of me, that I'm just damn right depressed. And this is all part of the journey, and I think it's only fair to show the whole package, because I want to connect from authenticity. I don't want to connect from this wanting to be this perfect whatever, and showing you only the things that my ego would like to show you, because my ego doesn't like it when I'm feeling so low when I make a video. No, my ego just wants to look fit and healthy and good, and showing you that side, but that is not truth. That's not reality. So I have to address my ego daily to keep going and keep becoming the authentic, autonomous human being that I want to become. The big breathing out. I feel this is what I wanted to share with you guys today, and love to hear from you guys, and see you next time.